All right, we're going to try this one more time. If I can get this right, I think we got something. Oh, God, it's still echoing. Let me try ChatGPT one more time. Hmm. Okay, how does it sound now? I'm getting somewhere. Just, oh gosh. I'm so excited to show you this, but I gotta solve this. Go to OBS. I think I did it. I'm not going to restart the stream again. I've done that 3 times. Trying. I think we're getting somewhere. I hate streaming. Hello? Hello? See if this works now. I think I have something here. No? No audio now? I think I got it. I think I got it. Oh, I got it. Oh. Okay. All right, good. Now we're on. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for bearing with me. Okay, now let's go to what I really wanted to talk about, which is my video. So as you know, I've been working on this diamond versus blue. Ooh, you know what? I don't want to hear my voice here. I've been working on this diamond versus blue um, analysis. So I made video recordings, a screen recording of all the rides as they come in. And then as I see a ride, I'm putting it into the spreadsheet. Now, what had happened was me and my friend Zeke, we both sat there at the same time. So let's go open my Finder video here. And let's go desktop. So I think, yeah, this is, so here's what Zeke's looks like. So there's Zeke's recording and my recording. And we did this together at the same time, as you can see here. And I'm just, as you play through it, you can see all the rides coming in, right? You can just see all the rides. That makes sense. What's up? Notes? Thank you. Dan, thanks for sticking with me. I really appreciate it. All right. So as you can see, we see every single ride that comes in. I just got to record them. So, and what we're going to do with that data is we're going to put it into a comparison. So right now I'm just comparing this, and this is where you guys get to come in. What are the things we should compare? So far Zeke had 206 rides, and I've recorded 63, but I'm still in the middle of my recording. I still got like an hour or so to go. The passenger rating, the percentage of exclusive rides, margin per minute. So let me just start recording, and I'm going to look to the chat. You guys let me know if you see what I'm kind of getting here as far as the data. So that trip was 870. So this is trip number 64. It's going to be Levi, 5%. Oh, I smell breakfast out there. Hold on 1 second. Is that kimchi? Oh, I thought it was kimchi. My wife brought me food. Oh, wait, hold on. How cool is that? Okay. All right. This is like, to record Zeke's, it took me hours. All right, so 870, the trip came in at 7:45. So 7:45 a.m. Oop, I did that wrong. 7:45 a.m. It's a Uber X Priority. Came in as an exclusive. $8.70 is what it was. There was no surge attached. Passenger rating 4.95. Passenger wasn't verified. 7 minutes, 1.8 miles. 10 minutes, 3 miles. And now you can see it's starting to rank everything. So I can go back here and look at this comparison so far. Let's see if we can look at our data. Zeke has had 206 trips. I've had 64 trips. Here's our average passenger rating. But look, because I was diamond, I'm going to put that up here. Diamond. And he was blue. Let me put this like this. You can see 45% of my trips that came in were exclusive, where only 19% of Zeke's were not exclusive. And then my margin per minute, this is after expensive. I know my wife brought me breakfast. I'm super hungry. All right. Yeah, I stayed up till like 3. I stayed up till 3 o'clock last night to do Zeke's data. So, okay. But you can see, as a diamond driver, the rides that are offered to me, I'm getting a lot more exclusive rides, 45% versus 19%. And I'm also picking up 7.5% more margin on my trips as a diamond driver. I'm not saying being a diamond driver is worth it yet or not. That's not what we're getting at. We're still collecting the data, because I'm 21 minutes into an hour and 17 video file. Okay, so what I want to know from you, I'm going to put a question in the chat here. Okay, what I want to know is what data do you want me to compare between diamond versus blue? Start Q&A. All right. All right, so there we go. Live chat. Now we're going. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the live chat. So I'm going to start putting some data in. You can watch me do this. I'm looking at the chat though. And if you have any like questions or whatever, I'm looking at the chat. All right. So let's go hit play on this. Speed it up a little bit. And here we go. All right, so there you go. 11:53. So this is like, we go trip 65. Levi. I'm getting the 5% perk. It came in at 7:45 a.m. Uber X. It's a trip radar. It was $11.53. 4.98. Passenger was verified. 11 minutes. 3.0 miles. 18 minutes. And 7.8 miles. There you go. So let's keep going here. Speed it up a little bit. See the next ride. Oh, just got to watch for the next ride to come in. We're at 22 minutes and counting into our hour and 17-minute thing here. All right, there we go. All right, so one of the questions you said, do you make about the same amount of money with fewer or higher paying rides? Yeah, I think we're doing that, measuring that. Have you cherry picked since getting diamond? I haven't really done anything since I did this experiment. Okay, do you make the same amount of money, higher paying rides, less passengers? Okay, yeah, so dollar per, let's see if I can put that in here. So how do I do dollar, dollar per mile equals, okay, let's go look at Zeke's revenue per mile right here. Go average of right here. So Zeke's dollar per mile, his average was $1.46. So I'm going to copy this formula over here. That's not correct. All right. My dollar per mile was $1.48. So I'm making 2 cents more a mile. There we go. All right. And dollar per hour. Let's measure that one here. Equals average. Average of revenue per hour equals average revenue per hour. So 29. So the difference between those two is, there you go. But now remember, now you could see there is a difference between them. I'm making 6.4, but remember, Zeke has all of his trips, all 206 trips that were offered to him. I only have 65 of my trips put in, so I'm still putting trips in the mix here. So we'll have to put a couple more trips in and keep going through the thing here. So let me just do that here. Let's go 66. Let me put 5 trips in here real quick. And then I'll stop and read the chat here. 7:47 a.m. Uber X, Trip Radar. Some of you might be wondering, why don't I use some sort of software to put this together? A couple reasons why I'm not using software as opposed to myself. Number one, I like spreadsheets. I really do. So for me, spreadsheets are a lot of fun. I'm down for it. I like putting them together. The second thing is not because I think there's going to be errors in the sense that I think the overall analysis will be there. I feel like this will be the most accurate. And what I mean by that, the difference between errors and accurate, is I think sometimes the screen recording software doesn't get every single trip. And I want to make sure I have every single trip in here. 4.95. Persons verified. 4 minutes. 1.0. 6 minutes. 1.7. Now, one of the things that I did, and I'll show you some of Zeke's numbers here in a second. So you can see I'm putting the numbers in here as I started to calculate. Well, yeah, I'm at like some sort of like automatic capture, Craig, not necessarily not using software. Of course, I'm using software, but something that automatically tracked all this data. Okay, let's look at Zeke's data. Let me just kind of go through it a little bit here. Here's all the trips in sequence. So in a period of about from 7:24 a.m. till 8:40 a.m. Here's all the rides that he got. You can see it was exclusive, the fare, the ratings, etc. Now, here's the real interesting thing that I like to capture is, assuming his costs are the same as mine, 30 cents per mile, we know the total miles of this trip was 6.9 miles. Multiply that by 30 cents. We can pull up the formula here. His cost for that trip were $2.07. So the margin on a $9.09 trip that was offered was $7. And the way you calculate that to the hour, so you can get instead of per the minute, we can look at the revenue of the trip. The revenue is $9.09. Divide that by the minutes, and that gives you a per minute rate. And you multiply that by 60, and that gives you a per hour rate. So you can see which trips made the most amount of money that way. Now, the revenue per mile is the same kind of formula. It's just the fare, which is the revenue, divided by the number of miles, and that gives you the revenue per mile. Now, the margin's the really interesting thing. The margin is what we made on the trip after expenses. Divide that by the number of minutes, multiply it by 60, and that tells us what was our most margin per hour. Now watch this. This is the really fun part. If I go margin per hour, I think this is the most important data, how much we make after expenses per hour, so we can compare it across all the rides. And I have breakfast here, so bear with me. Boom. Now let's see, can you see that? Oh my gosh, you can't even see that, can you? Okay, hold on a second here. I'm on OBS, let's see this. There we go. Zeke's best ride per hour was right here. $52.20 per hour. So if you took that trip after expenses, he would have made $52. I think I got it zoomed in enough. No? Okay. Oh my gosh. Zoom in. See if it shows it here. I'm on a delay looking at my screen. Bear with me. There we go. All right. So if I were to look at all the trips, these were Zeke's most profitable trips, 1 through 10, and I ranked them. So he got an exclusive ride. This fare was $6.57. It had a surge attached. And if he had taken that trip and after expenses, he would have made $52.20. How awesome is that, right? Are you with me so far? Give me a thumbs up in the chat. It's weird talking, but I can't see you guys. And I'm just really hungry, so bear with me. All right. No. What was his least profitable trips? Look at these. After expenses, some of these trips. $9 an hour, $10 an hour, $10 an hour, $11 an hour. Okay, thanks, Dan. Appreciate it. You can see all of his margins per hour. So when we talk about cherry picking, take a look at these. Almost all of his trips are in that $20 an hour range or less. Out of the 203 trips that I captured, only, let's see here, only 11 of his two, so basically 5% of his trips were over $30 an hour after expenses. You with me so far? Does that make sense? And of those trips, most of them had some sort of surge attached. So one of the most clear factors that you're going to be able to make money on a trip is if it has a surge attached compared to anything else. So again, these were small surges, by the way, $2, $2, $2. These weren't like $30 surges or anything else like that. Just a super small surge. All right, so his top 10 trips came in, and you can see he had to wait. His 98th trip was his most popular. None of the really good trips came in until later. So again, we started this experiment at 7 something. Let's see here. We started this experiment at 7:24 a.m. and 7:59 is when his most profitable trip came in. So literally over a half hour he had to sit there parked. Decline. He had to decline 98 trips to get to his most profitable trip. Pretty neat data, right? All right. Here's another thing. Look at these most profitable trips. Pickup duration in minutes. They were all really close. If you could see, watch how the trips get longer and farther away as I scroll down. The farther away the trip, look at that. My least profitable trips are really far away. I mean, not all of them, but how cool is that? Agreed. I agree. That's what Gig U's so good about this. So, okay. So here's some lessons that I've learned so far. Of the most profitable trips, surge is one of the biggest glaring factors. If you want to get a profitable trip, the most profitable, surge. The second thing is pickup. How far away is the pickup? They're all really close. Look at that. 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. They're all really close right there. So a surge and a close pickup. Look how short these trips are. The most profitable trips were almost all under 15 minutes too. Or if I go over here and look at my least profitable trips, they didn't have a surge. And look, 20 minutes, 19 minutes, 36 minutes, 20 minutes, 38 minutes. So if we were to go look at the least profitable trips, they were longer and had a longer pickup, and they didn't have a surge. Whereas the most profitable trips, look, you can see where the surge started. Right here, we're on trip 206 or whatever. If it had a surge, it almost always is in the top 50. Look at that. 80. This trip right here had a $2 surge. $2 surge. And then once you start to get in the surges, it just keeps going. Look at that. I'll tell you about these color coordinated ones in a second. And I'll put together a whole video on this. Ag program. Here's the reason why. What Diamond Driver signals to people. Hey, Kathleen, there you go. I still use Apple and Android. I use Android normally when I'm Uber driving, but for this experiment, I used Apple just because I'm used to the interface for a screen recording. Thank you for letting me eat too, by the way. Okay. So margin per hour is what I decided was the most profitable. And you see 4 trips came in over $40 an hour after expenses. At 4 trips out of 206 trips, came in over $40 an hour, which means you have to basically take 1 or 2 rides out of every 100. So using this methodology to get the most profitable trip, you would have to have a 1% acceptance rate. Are you with me so far? I'll try to eat off screen, sorry. But it's really good. It's eggs with feta, a little bit of spinach, and it's really good. Now, let's take a look at my trips. These are my trips. I'm only have only put in a few of them. 67. All right, so I'm gonna put some more of my trips in here. Watch. The whole point. Okay. Let's put some more of my trips in here. And I'm only at 67. All right. All right, 4.7. Let's do this next trip here. Speed up the thing here. Can you imagine? I did this all day yesterday, just putting trips in the spreadsheet. All right, there we go. Trip number 68. I love this stuff. I love putting together spreadsheets. All right, UberX priority. Trip radar. 11.81, 4.96. Oop, 11,000. Look at that. That's pretty good. Passengers verified. 7 minutes. 3.8. 15 minutes. 6.5. All right, let's go to the next ride. 4.7 came in again. That same trip came in again. Nobody took it. So it came in again, but they didn't increase it. So I went back to my trip radar. So I'm counting these as offers because I got it again, even though I declined it. And it was this trip right here. Came in again. All right. Let's see what trip comes in here. Okay, set 9.72. Trip number 70. And what I'm looking for is I want to measure the difference between Zeke's rides and my rides. Because again, Zeke was there with me. Zeke had, when we did this experiment, Zeke had has a Tesla Model Y. He's the exact same driver as me, but he was a blue driver and I was a diamond driver at the time. And I'm still, I think at this point in time, I'm finally gold by now. I'm not diamond in this part of the experiments. I don't think it's wrong to take every single ride, but you may be losing money, so it just depends. You see, this was a really profitable ride. It was my 5th most profitable ride. This $9.72 ride, if I were to get it, pays me, let's see here, $27 an hour. So right now, my trips are not up where Zeke's are because we haven't gotten into the surge. Let's get to the surge. That's what I'm waiting for here. When the surge comes in, we'll see how much more profitable my rides were as a driver with the 5%. Oh, I put that in wrong. 748. I don't think I've ever let somebody watch me put data in a spreadsheet, so I'm kind of nervous with you guys watching. 4.29. Look at this person's rating. I don't think I would take them. 4.292. Oh my gosh. 11 minutes. 5.0, 10 minutes, and 3.5 miles. So you can see I put all the data in, and there you go. Oh, there's a priority or a exclusive. And we'll go back to the data set here in just a second, the comparison. Let me get this one trip in, and I want to show you something. So this is UberX, but it was exclusive. 13.46 is the amount. Passenger rating 4.94. person's verified. 9 minutes, 2.9, 18 minutes, 7.1. There you go. So I got exclusive. So let's take a look at the comparison between Zeke and me so far. So again, I haven't recorded or put all of my trips into the report, but Zeke in his 1 hour window got 206 offers. I got 72. But you can see 42% of the trips that were offered to me were exclusive, were only 19% of Zeke's. So I got twice as many exclusive offers than Zeke did. And you can see after expenses, my trips were 7.5% more profitable. Dollar per mile, I got a little bit more. Dollar per hour, I got a little bit more in the offering. All right, let's put some more trips in here, and then we'll go back to the analysis. I've got some really neat things to show you. You're gonna be so. I'm gonna show you a couple of trips that Zeke got that really kind of interested me, and I'm gonna put this together in a full video. But I want to see what your questions are. What I'm looking for is your questions and what kind of data you want me to analyze with this information here. So 73, Levi, 5%, 748. Let me tell you, YouTube does not pay enough to do this much data analysis. This is really Levi taking one for the team, though I do like it. I do like making spreadsheets. Okay, this was a 10-minute pickup, 4.4 miles, 8 minutes, and 2.3 miles. What I want to do is make a spreadsheet or some sort of like app that does this for you. GigU does this a little bit, and I have talked to their team about expanding the way this works, because obviously you're not going to see the same data or the same analysis that I get because I'm in a different city than you, right? 5%, okay. 740, UberX priority. See the way we set this experiment up was we wanted to do it at 7 in the morning because it would be a consistent every morning. How did I solve my problem, my sound problem? I have no idea. I have no idea. I am learning how to use the tools. OBS is what I use as the software for live streaming. 3.3. There you go. That was my fourth. So this is my fourth most profitable trip that's been offered to me so far. So in a period of about 20 minutes, I got this trip right here. Look, it's roughly a 20-minute trip, right? 20-minute trip, 5 miles, 10.47, not too bad. Let's take a look over here. It came as a trip radar, but it pays me $29 an hour after expenses. So, Dragon, you asked, how am I ranking the offers? I'm ranking them by margin per hour is how I'm ranking them. So now we don't know that number unless you use a tool like GigU. So again, GigU's a sponsor and it works really, really well. But unless you, I'm gonna put a line up right here. I should put a thing so I know. Okay, it's right there. I'm just trying to see where the screen shows so that way I can see. Okay, so now I know my screen. One of the things I was doing is I was recording stuff and I realized there's parts of the screen you couldn't see. Okay. All we see is revenue. So to get margin, you have to understand your cost per mile. And so the best way to do that would be to go, okay, here's the total miles of the trip. This trip was 5.1 miles. It was 18 minutes. My cost per mile on this trip is my cost after a 30-cent cost per mile is $1.53 on this trip. My margin is $8.94, which means that 1047 minus my cost gives me $8.94. So now the revenue per mile and per hour, that's what we see, right? This is $34 an hour. This 1047 trip is $34 an hour and it's $2 a mile. And you can see my margin per hour now comes down to 29.80. That's after expenses. That's the $34 an hour minus the costs. Let's put some more trips in here and I'll squeeze back over to your comments here in a section here. All right, let's go. Hit play. So again, I'm just using a screen recording of my day. You can see it was a slow day. There weren't that many rides, or there weren't that many surges on the map. So we picked a Thursday morning, kind of a slow morning, to get as much data as we can get. UberX priority again. Oh, interesting. Look at this. Oh, see, this is the kind of stuff that just is awesome. All right. 9.72. You're going to love this. Look at this. Do you notice what this trip is? Do you notice this trip right here? You have to notice it, right? Look, it's the same trip. So it came in. Let's go backwards in time. There it goes. So this trip comes in as a trip radar at 7:48 a.m. It comes in as a trip radar for $10.47, right? Now if I hit play, okay, speed it up just a little bit. So I let it time out. I didn't take it as a trip radar, so they offer it to me as an exclusive for less money. And so instead of making $29.80 an hour, they're giving it to me for $27.30 per hour. What is that pay cut? Let's do a quick little analysis on the pay cut. All right, so how crazy is that, right? Why would Uber do that? That makes no sense at all, does it? If I didn't take it for a certain price, why would they give it to me for less? So let's do the math this way so you can see it here. All right, so this equals $29 an hour. This one equals $27 an hour, equals 29 minus 27, a 250 pay. This one over this one. Let's do it. Let's do this in reverse here. An 8% pay cut. Am I doing that right? I think I'm doing that right. So originally I was going to profit $29 an hour. Then they gave it to me again as an exclusive. And then boom, it's now a $2.50 pay cut. After expenses. After expenses. That's the most important thing. We always want to measure after expenses. So how nasty is that? Oh, I got some other rides I want to show you though. And I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna do a full video on this. I'm hoping that you guys give me some inspiration on how I can compare me and Zeke. So again, I have all of Zeke's data here. And I want to look at my data. All right. Oop, did that wrong. Let's do this here. 71, 72, 73, 74. So we're on ride 76. Still got the 5% perk. We're at 7:49 a.m. That's just a basic UberX. All right. The fare was $4.70. Passenger rating 4.95. Why is everybody 4.9 something? I wonder if that's a thing. I don't know. Okay, 4-minute pickup, 1 miles, 6 minutes, and 1.7. So you can see that was my 43rd most profitable trip offered. All right, let's see here. So again, we did it on a Thursday morning. You can see there's a little bit of a surge right here on the map, but there's really nothing going on. There's a $1 surge out there. And I wanted to pick a slow morning so that way we can compare like data. Now, we didn't do Uber Eats in this experiment, Dan. I saw your comment. I saw Uber Eats. I think we're going to do an Uber Eats one next, which means I have to get back up to Diamond because I'm no longer a Diamond driver. I have to take one for the team and go back to Diamond here. I don't mind being a Diamond driver. I don't hate it the way that a lot of other drivers do. I like the I don't really care, I guess. I don't if I'll just take the rides I want to take. I don't really I know it sounds kind of crazy. I just don't really care. So there's that. Okay, speed this up here. Let's put some more data in here. Oh, there you go. $12 ride. 78 from me. 5% perk still. 7:49 in the morning. We got another exclusive. And this is where the biggest difference so far between Zeke and me has been, is that I got so many more exclusive rides than Zeke did. 4.93. Passengers not verified. The verified thing is really important. In fact, I'm going to show you something about the verified thing, and I really think you're going to be surprised by this. That's the reason why I'm tracking it, at least. Watch this. Let's take a break from all this data here for a second. So you can see I've recorded 78 trips. Let's compare me and Zeke. Now I've only 26 minutes into my hour and 17, so I've still got 50 minutes, but I've almost got as many trips as Zeke. So not as many, but I'm getting up there. My passenger rating is a little bit higher, but look, I have 44% of all the trips that were offered to me are exclusive, which means I have a lot more choice than the Trip Radar. Because we did an experiment, me and Zeke, where we both accepted a ride at Trip Radar, but because I'm a Diamond, Uber gave it to me. We did that twice while we were sitting there. And so both times, if you get a Trip Radar and there's a Diamond driver nearby you, the Diamond driver is going to get prioritized over you. And I'm using the word Diamond, but basically somebody with a priority status as opposed to a blue. And you can see on my margin after expenses, I'm making 8.3% more per trip. So I'm getting more exclusive offers and I'm making 8% more on the trips. So let's take a look at some of your questions here. Let me get my glasses off here. Just catching up because I'm delivering, but Uber does all the time with Uber Eats. Oh yeah, you pick exclusive offers or Trip Radar. 4.9 thing is a psychological play. I think you're right. Wait till you see this though. CS. Yeah, I have to deny about 99% of the offers, and I cherry pick while doing Walmart Spark. I think a lot of people do what you do, Dan. That's pretty smart. When you look at all the final data of your exclusive, how many were passengers above 4.9? Okay, let's put that in here. Exclusive passenger rating. All right, I have to figure out that formula. I'm sure it's a if this type of formula, but I will come up with that data for you, CS, and wait for the full video when I put that data out. Now, let me show you something. Let's go back to Zeke's data. Watch this. All right, here's all of Zeke's data. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to go down here. I want to show you something. Look at this. Now, this is really important. On trip number 47, Zeke was offered a trip on Trip Radar. Passenger, the fare was $6.41. The passenger rating was 4.41. The passenger was not verified, which means they didn't do a safety check on this passenger, right? Now look down here. Trip number 49, Zeke got offered the exact same trip on Trip Radar again. You can see it's 641, 641, 4.41, 4.4. Now the passenger was verified. How crazy is that? That basically means Uber, because when you look at these trips and you see all of this stuff on there, you're like, oh, a surge or a 5% perk or they're exclusive or whatever it is. Psychology is tricking us into taking a ride. Well, verified looks like that. So I think I took a screenshot of it. Let's see if I can find a screenshot of it here. Oh yeah, here you go. I'm gonna open these two up. Watch this. There you go. I'm gonna. Can you see this? Let me see here. I'm gonna. So here it is. When the trip first came into Zeek, this is what it looked like. Did I take it twice? I might have did it twice here. No, come on. I did this right. Let's do this. Okay, let's see here. Let's go back and look at this way. I wanna verify this because I could have did this wrong. Now I'm thinking like, oh no. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's look at Zeke's video. It was, now I'm feeling like I did this wrong. 7:39. Nice. So let's look at Zeke's recording. All right, I'm sure you can see Zeke's right here. Now let's go to 7:49 in the morning. 7:43. All right, 7:43. Let's speed up a little bit more. 7:44. Oh, it's I did that wrong. 7:39. What a dummy. Not 7:49. 7:39. 7:30. All right, let's play it here. Watch this. Let's see if we get Zeke get that 1-6. Oh, we're gonna talk about Uber teens also in the video. 9:01. Okay, so it's the next trip. Watch this. Was I wrong? I was wrong. Oh no. I did it wrong. See, fat finger my own data. There you go. You get some live Levi making errors live on screen. Because I've seen that before where the passenger was verified, then not verified. Oh, but that is an important thing. Watch this. Zeke tried to take this trip just as an experiment, and he did not get it. So even the, see, all trips are taken. Oops. I guess I made a mistake. I'll have to go back through it here. But I'm looking for that error because there are times when I've seen a passenger verified then not, or not verified then verified. Okay, 12:31. Let's put some more data in here for a second. Then I'll go back to the, let's see here. All right, so oh, it's the same trip came in again. All right, 750. Uber X. Trip radar. So, come on. It's weird with you guys watching me. I feel kind of nervous here a little bit. All right, verified. Pickup duration in minutes, 6 minutes. Probably going to be a good ride. I don't know. 9 minutes and 2.9. There you go. All right. I'm going to eat and look at your questions here. Let me take my glasses off so I can see. God. All right. Kathleen says, are exclusive offers really better offers? Or are they just the same garbage as TripRadar? So far, it looks like they're the same. However, now you get to get them. See, the problem is if a good trip comes in on TripRadar, you may not get it. I'm not saying you should be a diamond driver, but don't take that away, but you know what I mean? What app am I using to record screenshots? I don't know, the one in the Apple app. So I just do screen recording. And then I come back to my computer and I put it all in. Do you use passenger rating filter in general? Yes, I do. I sure do. Last year, in fact, Baba, let me see if I can find this spreadsheet. File, open. Let's go tip. Hey, what the heck going on? There we go. Let's go down here and look. See, I need to look through all my files. Cancel. Open. I got some secret files in there I don't want you guys to see. Just teasing. There was a video that I did and a spreadsheet that I did that best tip video numbers. Let's take a look at this. I think this is it. So I did a spreadsheet like this before. Maybe I'll make a video again. Let me see if I can shrink it down for our live stream here. Hold on. God, I'm so old I can't see anything. All right, so let's do this. All right, this spreadsheet right here is really important. This spreadsheet is an experiment like I did a couple of, I guess it was about a year ago, give or take. I tracked every single trip for an entire week. Watch this. I'm going to sort them by here, sort ascending. Here's every single trip that I took for an entire week. I took 150 some odd trips. Yeah, 151 trips. I even remember their names because after I dropped them off. This guy, see, two African guys. They were from like Nigeria or something. I can't remember them. But what I wanted to do is what were the trips that tipped the most. So I tracked everything, kind of similar to what we're doing right now. And these are my notes to help me remember their names and everything. All right, now watch this. Here's what I learned. All right, fare per mile. The how much the passenger paid, not how much we got, but how much the passenger paid, was an indicator of whether they tipped or not. So 45% of the people that paid the most or paid the least tipped. 28% of the people that paid the most tipped. So it means if the ride was cheaper, they're more likely to tip. And I did not say Uber Teams, I said Uber Teens. I have a horrible pronunciation. Let's take a look at another one here. All right, what day of the week tipped the most? That's kind of interesting, right? So let's see here. But that wasn't the most important data. Let's take a look here. I think, is it right here? Yeah, here we go. This is probably not going to surprise any of you guys, but look. All right, I took 25 trips under 5 minutes. Now, this is the passenger's perspective of the trip. 6 tip, 24%. As the trips got longer, the percentage of the trips that tipped increased. Does that make sense so far? I guess my face is blocking it. I'm going to see if I can put this over here so you can see it here. All right, so which trips tip the most, the longer the trip? That's bad. Now, I think we all knew this, right? Now, let's take a look at airport. 8 of my 150 some odd trips were to the airport. 75% of the trips that went to the airport tipped, were only 34% of the trips that didn't go to the airport didn't trip. Here's another one. If it was a reservation, they tipped. If it was a comfort, they tipped a little bit. Just basic UberX only tipped 34%. Now, here's the one that I'm telling you is the most important thing about tipping. 51 of my 150 trips, the passengers had a 5.0 rating, and 57% of them tipped. 55 had a 4.9 to 5.0, 29% of them tipped. 31 had a 4.8 or lower, 19% of them tipped. 4.7, only 23% of them tipped. So basically, If it was above a 4.8, you have a pretty good chance of getting a tip. If it was below a 4.8, you only have a 20% chance of getting tipped. If there was no surge, you got a little bit more of a tip. And price per mile, I think that's it of all that data right there that I found compelling. So basically it's this, and I didn't do a very good job of tracking time of day, I think. I tried to do that. Oh, I did their first letters. um, you know, people with the first letter S on their name tip 47% of the time. I was trying to find any kind of thing. I kind of stopped right here. I didn't do too much of that, the day or whatever. But yeah, bottom line is this. A longer trip to the airport with a reservation, comfort, and a high passenger rating, 4.9 or 5-star, you're more likely to get a tip. But people always ask me, Levi, why do you focus on 5-star passengers? Because I'm telling you right now, a vast majority of them tip. Doesn't mean I did get a 4.6 rated passenger and that person did tip me. But the statistical analysis is that basically, if they're below a 4.8 rating, only 22% of them tipped. Let's sit on that for a second here. What kind of questions you got? That's pretty awesome. That's amazing data. I'm going to do this again. I'm telling you right now, passenger rating is the biggest, clearest, most obvious way to know if you're going to get a tip. So yes, I do use passenger ratings. Come on. What do you think? Push back against this data. I know some of you are typing right now. Are going to say, well, in my market, Americans are Americans, humans are humans. There are 5-star passengers that don't tip. I get that. But we're talking about the propensity to tip. So when a trip comes in, I'm looking at this trip right here, a 4.98, I have about a 40% chance that this person is going to tip. Now I can look, because I know my city pretty well, Court Street to Hiawatha Boulevard. You know what that is? I know what that is right there. You don't, because you don't drive here in the city, but I know that that place, that person's going to pick up their car. Now, that means it's a suburb person who doesn't have a car, who probably doesn't use Uber that often, highly rated, is going to go pick up their car in the morning. I bet money, I'd bet my mortgage that that person is going to tip me. Where are you guys at? I see no chats. Come on now. No, Dragon, I've never thought about doing a regional experiment, because why? What value would that bring? It's kind of neat. It's kind of fun, but what value does some sort of like regional? There's nothing I can do with it. You know what I mean? It's interesting, but like comparing a driver in DC to a driver in Syracuse, what am I going to do with that data? So what I'm trying to do is give you and me data that we can take action upon. And that's why this data right here, this is one of the most compelling pieces of data. People ask me all the time, Levi, why do you get so much tips? Well, the reason why is because I focus on passenger rating, because I did the research and I found that the higher the rated passenger, they tip. And to your point, CS, yeah, it's a vibe check too. We can still get the filter. Let's see here. I can go in. If I go into Uber, let's take a look here. If I go into Uber, now where's my filters? So I can do passenger rating. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I can do passenger rating as a filter. So when it's really, really busy, now the whole point of the experiment that we're working on right now is not this spreadsheet. I just wanted to pull this out. Spreadsheet ASMR is now my favorite genre. Dude, I'm telling you, I love this stuff. Um, okay, now what are we talking about here? I would like to have actionable data that to help drivers make better decisions. So if I compared hypothetically an Uber black driver in Chicago, and we've all seen, maybe not we all have, but there's like a couple of TikTokers out there that have like $3,500 a week in earnings, and they're doing Uber black, and they're declining rides that I would take all day because they know there's bigger rides out there. But that doesn't help me as a driver in Syracuse. It gives me feelings of jealousy and envy, but not that. Shows the variation mark in types of drivers across most markets. I've said before, doing something like that than an ice road trucker style would be randomized markets, would highlight lots. Maybe what I'll do is try to find drivers with similar ratings. I'll tell you in a second, Battlefield. Hold on. Maybe CS. What if we did something like this? I'll get 10 drivers with 10 similar cars in 10 similar cities, geographically split apart, in one morning to just give me their screen recordings. Screen record for 1 hour and then take a look at it. It may be interesting. Don't get me wrong. It's fascinating. It's like I watch those ASMR videos of like how the airport operates and stuff. Yeah, so it's cool. So it'd be a good YouTube video, but I, in terms of viewership, but I don't know if it will help other drivers. It may make them feel better or worse. Hey, my market's doing really well, or that could be a benefit. Let's see here. Battlefield asked, tell us how you rate passengers because I've only one-starred one passenger once. Um, there are a couple things that really stand out to me, but the easiest thing is when passengers are late to come outside and I could see them taking their time, that's a 1 star. I just never want to pick them up again because that person is typically disrespectful of my time. And you can also look at the passenger rating going, other drivers have had similar experiences. They don't like them. If a passenger smells, that can be really frustrating. But if they're going to work or they're coming home from work, I understand that. As long as they don't make a mess in my car. But yeah, I pretty much rate negatively for passengers that are disrespectful. They make a mess in the car. They are late coming out. I really dislike passengers that get on speakerphone and don't even acknowledge my presence. They don't have to talk to me, but when they come in the car, they should be like, "Hey, I'm on the phone." I mean, go for it. If they told me they were on the phone, I'm okay with it. But if they just jump in my car, I really dislike that. See here, Kathleen. Off topic. Can we receive the recipe for breakfast? My breakfast bowl. Not sure what the comment is referring to. She is. See, yeah, she's talking to the fact that I had breakfast here. Okay, it's 3 scrambled eggs, feta cheese, spinach, and this time, and a 1 sausage patty that she chops up into it with the everything bagel seasoning inside of it. And this time, which is maybe it's because it's Saturday, my wife really loves me. She she gave me a whatchamacallit too, some hash browns. My son had a little bit of hash browns. But my diet, I'm a really fat dude. I got to lose some weight. My diet is basically I have to eat 3 meals a day and I can eat whatever I want as long as it fits inside of 3 bowls. That's it. There you go. And I'm done, but I'm trying to get those last pieces of feta out of there. All right. So it, I'm telling you right now, you want to make more tips? Take higher rated passengers. Use the filter out the people that are 4.8 and below or whatever. Just don't take them. And that'll help you maintain a higher rating status because you're not getting that many offers. Now, if it's slow and you're not getting a lot of trips, don't have the filter on. But if it's super busy and there's a surge, just filter out the bad passengers. Battlefield for me, late, not even acknowledging. Yeah, no doubt. Speakerphone, no doubt. Yeah, and I'm telling you, Battlefield, my wife is a wonderful cook. All right, let's jump back into the spreadsheet that we're creating, right? Okay, so let me just refresh. I don't know how many people are on the chat, but I want to kind of give you guys a rundown of what's going on here. So my friend Zeke and I sat in a diner, and we both had ran screen recordings, and we just declined every single ride. And then I'm taking those screen recordings and I'm tracking all of the data and I'm going to compare them. Now my friend Zeke is blue. He's a blue driver, not a diamond driver. At the time, I'm not anymore, but at the time I was a diamond driver, so I was getting the 5% pro status bonus, the new pro status. So we're sitting there side by side, we're seeing the trips come in, declining them all, and we want to measure those two. And right now, what I'm asking you guys, the reason why I'm doing this live stream is it's kind of fun to hang out with you guys and do this, is I'm trying to measure the two. Now I'm putting my data in. Zeke's data is all in. My data is going in. And I wanted to measure between the differences between the two things. Who got the most amount of trips? Who had the higher passenger ratings? Again, to me, passenger rating matters. We didn't have any filters on. Who got more exclusives? And right now, I've gotten 43% of my trips were exclusive. His were only 19. And the reason why that matters is because, whatchamacallit, the reason why that matters is because, well, if you get an exclusive, you get a chance to take it. We were doing a couple of trip radars where he got a good ride. He tried to take it, but somebody else got the ride. So who cares if you get good rides and you can't get them as a trip radar? And then the margin, the profitability per minute average. Right now, I'm about 8% more profitable than he was. Who got more dollar per mile? I did. Who got dollar per hour more? I did. So what I'm also going to measure, comfort, priority, other types of rides. He got teen rides. I don't have that filter on. I've done teen rides. I have no problem with them, but he got them. So let's go put some more data in my spreadsheet here. All right, we're on trip number 79. You can see I'm going to hit play over here. I'm at 27 minutes into my hour and 17-minute video, my screen recording. I speed it up a little bit, and I wait for the next ride to come in. Oh, there it goes. I got it as a trip radar, then it came in. Did you see that? As an exclusive. But this time for the exact same amount. 710. Yeah, this is the exact same trip. 4.98. Verified. All right. All right, let's do it again. Okay, you can see it's a slow day in Syracuse. It's Thursday morning at almost 8 o'clock in the morning. People are trying to rush to work. That's really about it. I got another trip number 81. This is mine. I got the 5% perk. 7:51 a.m. I'm gonna look over in the chat here in a second, and then we're gonna see what kind of questions you got. What I really want you guys to do is tell me what data you want to see. That's the goal. When I do this experiment, I'm going to put all this data together. I want to make a video that answers everybody's questions, but I need to know what your questions are. So I'm asking you right now in the live stream, since you guys are here. Oh, this is my most profitable ride. Look at that. There you go. $11 for an 11-minute ride, 5 minutes, exclusive, priority. I would have made $37 an hour on that trip after expenses. How about that? Let me put some more rides in here for a second, and then we'll do this. All right, there we go. This one looks like a not so good a ride. 16 minutes away for $5. Come on, Uber. Trip radar. 5.95. 5-star though. Maybe I'll get a tip out of that one. I don't know. See, where is it going from? West Seneca to Crestfield, Maris. I don't know if that's a tipper or not. All right, 16 minutes though. I don't want to go down there. When I drive in Syracuse, I try to avoid this part of Syracuse. It's not the best neighborhoods, but it's also you can get lost down in there. When I try to Uber drive in Syracuse, I try to stay more toward my house. I'll show you guys in a second here. Let's see what it looks like here. Let this thing hit. Come on. All right. So I live down this way, kind of over here on this map. I live out here. So I try to stay in this area here. Right here is Syracuse University. I don't know if you can see my thing on the map here. But this is 690, this is 81, this is 41. This is easy to navigate. If you get over to this area here, it's almost impossible. These are kind of like 30-mile-an-hour roads. Put it over here. This is all 30-mile-an-hour roads. This isn't so bad up here. This isn't so bad here. Here's the airport, obviously. There's some, but here's Erie Boulevard. A lot of places to eat. Syracuse University, the hospitals. I try to avoid this. This is where the Amazon warehouse is. This is not so good. It's hard to get tips out of there. So I kind of just stay in this zone right here, and I try to avoid that. Not that that matters too much. Yeah, that was my worst ride. So that's funny. My best ride came in, and then my worst ride came in back to back. There you go. Because you see by the ranking, that worst ride. So my best ride paid me, oh, look at that. My best ride paid me $37 an hour after expenses, and then $10 an hour after expenses was my worst ride. So there you go. What a neat. Don't you just love looking at data? It's so cool. All right. I'm going to go to the chat here after I put this ride in. I'm going to take a look at what you guys are talking about. Did I get that right again? No, this is a different ride. All right. 83. All right. Got my perk. It's 7:52 a.m. Uber X. Trip radar. 11.41. 5-star passenger. Verified. Okay, so there you go. Okay, so this passenger, if I were to see this trip come up and I was actually paying attention, is going from Sedgwick, which is a nice neighborhood, to the hospital. So I'm going to bet that's a nurse trying to get to work. It's 7:52 and they're running late to get to work. I bet they have to be at work at 8:15. So now it's a chance for me to earn a tip. And this is probably a high-paying trip here. One of the things I think all drivers should do is try to master neighborhoods. Now, Syracuse is really small. Yeah, see, there you go. That trip was my 4th best paying trip. And I'm almost guaranteeing myself a tip on that trip right there. And tips to me are like surges, like they're additional bonuses. Now, see, this goes out the middle of nowhere. I would not take that trip. I don't care how much they're paying me for this trip. Let's see what it pays, though. Trip number 84. And again, I'm sure it's a fine trip for if you live out this way. This is not a bad trip. I just don't want to go out that way. 7:52 a.m. Uber X. Oops. Okay, this one's Trip Radar. 8.73. 5-star passenger. Verified. Let's see here. 8 minutes. 2.7 miles. 13 minutes. 4.9. Yeah, 75. This one's not very good paying trip. All right, let's go into the chat. Let's see what you guys are up to here. All right, I'm going to go kind of scroll up a little bit here. Yummy. I remember I read that one. I agree about passengers who do not acknowledge you. That so makes me upset. Also, comfort rides that are upgraded are different than the type of one that pays. Oh, I don't know anything about that. I've never seen upgrades. The highest rides we get here in Syracuse are comfort. We don't have Uber Black. So if I got a Cadillac Escalade, I guess I could get Uber XL or XXL maybe, but you can't do Uber Black here in Syracuse. You can't order it on the app. It doesn't exist. Kathleen's talking to Dragon. Let's see here. CS says, if not the discount, it's the absence of expectation for doors open. Yeah, okay. So are you doing this live right now? I sure am. As far as those trips, they are actually coming in at the moment. No, this is a video screen recording. Yep. Thank you, CS. Okay. What's up, Levi? You order your new Model Y yet? No, David, but I'm going to, man. I have every time I see one on the street, I'm like, oh, I so want that. Being late is so frustrating. Yeah, 1 star all the time. I hate that stuff. And no, if they okay, there are times I don't mind being late. Um, when they come out and it's reasonable that they're late, they're like, oh my god, I was just looking for my phone. Can you hold on a second or whatever? Then I'm okay with it. It's the late and the lack of respect. It's like, oh, my car's sitting out. Now I can do what I want to do. That's what's frustrating. Yeah, priority rides always show up late. See, that's what happens, Kathleen. They're like in a rush, so they order Uber priority. We show up, but they still haven't solved the thing that's making them late in the first place. Is anyone else getting a note on ride offers something to the effect of average wait time on this was 1 minute or less? No, I don't think I've ever seen that. Maybe I did. I don't know. Let's put some more data in here, and then we'll do some more comparison. I want to know what you want me to measure for this analysis. Again, I'm comparing Zeke's trips to my trips. He was blue, I was diamond when we started this experiment. Um, see, a comfort exclusive. This is good. This is a good ride. This one should pay pretty well. It should, right? Maybe not. 4.98 verified. All right, we got 4 minutes, 0.8 miles. I like that. It's a short pickup. That's always good. 9 minutes. And then 2.4. So let's see here. This trip, oh, it's a number 11. It's not too bad. But okay, this is probably another worker going to work. So why they're ordering a comfort, I don't know. Maybe they just got like a discount. Uber X priority. All right, let's see. Oh, 4.62. See, I would never take this. From Brighton to South Campus, that is not going to be a good ride. No matter who, I'm just telling you, Brighton is not the best neighborhood sometimes. So 4.62 out of Brighton, somebody's got problems. I would not take this trip. But, so I don't care how much this pays. I just don't care. I'd rather just not get the money. It's early in the morning. It's 7 a.m. in the morning, according to this experiment. I would just pass. I probably wouldn't even see it because I wouldn't even have their rating anyway. I have my rating filters on. Let's see here. 4.62 problems. Red flag. That's the dating thing, right? Red flag, green flag. All right. 2.1. Oh, see, it's a good paying ride. It's my 10th best paying ride so far. So there you go. I would be losing money. All right, let's see here. Okay, 550. Let's see here. 87. 5%. 752. Uber X, another exclusive. See, that's the thing is I'm getting all these exclusive. Zeke's were almost all trip radars. Mine are all exclusive. So I'm getting a lot more options on trips I can take. 4 minutes, 1.1 miles, 9 minutes, 1.6 miles. There you go. You're getting this is Uber driving in Syracuse right here. You see, oh, by the way, that was another person going to the whatchamacallit, right? Going to the, everybody's trying to work at basically the biggest employer in Syracuse is the hospital. So a ton of people. It's tough to go to the hospital though, because the hospital has a lot of traffic. So you have to use your best judgment. If the ride's a banger, then yeah, do it. No, let's go back to that. Okay, again, this is out of nowhere. So it's so tough to get there. And then it takes you up here. I don't think I would take that ride, but let's take a look at it. Let's see what it measures at. Now, normally I use GigU. When you have GigU on the app, it shows you the results of the trip. Let's see here. I'll go to my messages. I'll pull up. I'll show you what it looks like on GigU. Oh, my wife is texting me. She said, going with Charlie to the golf course. Nice. All right. I don't know if I'm... Oh, hey, I see a text message from Kathleen. Hey, what's up, Kathleen? All right, I'm not going to find it. All right. All right. I was going to show you what GigU looks like, but I'm not going to be able to get to it today. But it is, it's so good. It makes all the analysis for you. So all this analysis I'm doing in the spreadsheet, GigU just does it automatically. The reason why I did not record my trips in the GigU app this time is because I really didn't know how to do a screen recording, and I wanted to make the experiment as light as possible. Zeke has an iPhone, I have an iPhone, so I wanted to just do a screen recording that way. All right, let's see here. All right. Question: when you're recording the mileage, is it just the mileage from the pickup to the drop off, not the mileage to the pickup? No, I'm doing it all. When a trip comes in, I measure the whole trip, not just the drop off and pickup. But I can look at it that way. Is there a way to find the average trip pay for this market? That's exactly what I'm doing, Gary. Yes, Gary, that's exactly what we're doing. We're going to find the average trip pay. Let's take a look at Zeke's data right here. So if I look at Zeke's, I have all of Zeke's 200 some odd trips put into one spreadsheet, okay? Now I can go over to the comparison. It's kind of curious at 206, all right. So now I go over to the comparison, and here is the margin. We could say the dollar per hour, the average trip that Zeke got was paying 146 per mile or 27.75 per hour. There you go. Let's go back to my spreadsheet. Let's put a couple more in here. So again, in the chat, do me a favor. Tell me what tell me what kind of questions or what kind of data that you want me to analyze. CS, I appreciate your insight. Kathleen, Gary, of course, thank you so much. Let me know what kind of data you want me to analyze between me and Zeke. Zeke is a whatchamacallit driver, a blue driver. At the time of this recording of these screenshots, I was a diamond driver. So we're going to be able to compare the two. 4.1, 18 minutes, 9. There you go. And so what I'm doing is I'm just putting all the data in, and then I'm going to measure and compare the two. Oh, now we got a surge. Okay, now this is interesting. Here's where the trips should really start to be banger for me, right, as a diamond driver. So now we got a surge. It's not a big surge, but that doesn't matter. A big surge is going to be, let's look at Zeke. I have all of Zeke's trips in here. And you can see right now they're in order from the first one that came in at 7:24 all the way to the last one that came in around 8:40 a.m. 206 rides, 8:40 a.m. But if I rank them by profitability per hour, here's Zeke's most profitable rides came in starting around 7:59. So you can see I got the surge at 7:53. He got the surge. When did Zeke's surge come in here? Let's try it. Let's do it again here. Did I get the surge before Zeke? That's kind of interesting, isn't it? All right, the surge came in at 7:54 for Zeke, 7:53 for me, so it's the same. Okay. Now let's go ahead and take a look at ranking the most profitable trips. Look at that. Zeke's most profitable trips are all surges. And he got paid a lot on his trips. Look at this one. $52.20 an hour after expenses. So surges is really interesting in terms of the data. So now let's go through my data. Let's take a look at the surges. Let's see. This should start to turn all green right here. That's what I'm guessing. Let's see what kind of trips come in here. I got a $2 surge. Come on, give me a ride. Give me a ride. Come on. Big prizes, no whammies. Let's see what this one looks like here. Oh, this is a good ride. Watch this. 225 surge. Nice. All right. 7:54 a.m. So me and Zeke got it came in as a trip radar though, which is not good. You want to see the surges rides coming in as exclusives. This is how you make really good money per hour. All right. 4.94 verified. The surge was 2.25. 5 minutes away. Super good. 1.2 miles. This is a great trip. I would take this trip all the time. It's to the Harrison. Oh, I know what this is. Yeah, of course. This would be like a no-brainer trip to me. All right. That is from a house, an apartment complex, to another medical facility here. My assumption is that person's probably either going to an appointment or whatever. Look at that, 3. It's my third ranked trip, and it keeps me in this zone. I like that. And I'd say 50 to 70% chance I'm going to get a tip on this trip because it's going to Harrison Street. Yeah. All right. Another trip radar. This is interesting. You'd like to see the rides with surges coming in as exclusive, right? Not trip radar. So the 2 times I've had a surge so far, they've come in as trip radar. 6.4, a $2 surge, 4.94. Person's not verified. 2 minutes. That's pretty good. 0.2. The person's like right there. The person's like literally like right on the block, right? And then it's a 5-minute trip. They got to go 1.2 miles. Best trip right there. There you go. The best trip of the day so far. I'm 90 some odd trips into it. And it seems like such a whatever trip. But that trip literally keeps me right there in that little zone. How awesome is that? I love seeing this. Can you imagine putting this all day? This is awesome. All right, let's see here. I'm going to do a couple more, then I'll go back into the chat. This is so good. Come on, give me. There we go. Oh, it's a multi-stop. It's a multi-stop. It's not going to be good. Don't take multi-stops in the morning. That basically means you're with a mom taking a kid to school, and there's typically no car seat. There's problems. There's problems. It's just problems. So the first exclusive I get is not good. I would not take this trip. The minute I see multi-stop, it's just a problem. I mean, I'm sure she's a nice woman. Maybe it's a guy. It could be a dad. I don't know. But my gut feeling is this, that they're not going to have a car seat, and I'm going to pull up, and then it's going to be a problem, and they're going to be upset with me because I'm not going to take them. And that's the potential for getting a bad review, a bad complaint, whatever it is. And even though it pays well, not worth it. I just pass. No thanks. Another trip will come in. Come on, give me another one. No whammies, big money, big prizes, no whammies. Okay, now this is a college student going from South Campus back to the campus. 4.8, I am not getting a tip on this one, so it has to be a banger trip. So I want to point out, you see how I analyze trips? The first thing I look at is, will I earn a tip? It's because it's part of the criteria to earn as much money as possible. If I think I'm not going to get a tip from a 4.8 college student, unless this trip pays me $1 million, there's going to be another trip that comes in. Why waste my time? Now, I could be wrong. There are times I think I'm going to get a tip and I don't, but it doesn't matter. Surge, 4.8, and this is probably not going to be good. I wouldn't pick up a 16-minute trip away anyway, 6 miles away. 8 minutes, 2.4. Didn't even pay that well. Look at that. 43. So it doesn't matter. All right. Come on. Big money, big prizes, no whammies. Oh, another trip radar. So that's kind of sucks. So far, the only exclusive one that's come in with the surge has been this multi-stop. All right. So it's proving to me that not being a diamond doesn't really matter yet. You want to see some exclusive bangers that are coming in, not as trip radar, but as an exclusive to you. So that way you get full control over the decision whether to take the trip. This is when you make your money, right? When it surges, it's only going to surge. Me and Zeke went through that surge time period. Let's see here. Let's go back here. Sort descending from it was literally a 10-minute window from 7:54 to 8:02, 8:03. It's like a 10-minute window. So it's 10 minutes during the surge to get the best possible trip. That's it. There were no other surges that morning. Well, I guess there was these other ones that sitting out there. But let's do this. Make that red for my spreadsheet. Oop, I don't want to make that red. I'm making that red like that. Okay. Yeah, so the surges were during that short little window. So you have to pick the best possible surge that you possibly can. Because this is where you make your money. You want to get 2 rides. Remember, it's a 10-minute window. This is a great trip. Look at this trip. This trip right here is literally total 7 minutes. If you can get that trip, you might be able to get 2 surges in one surge when it surges, when it kind of peaks and surges. And again, every place is a little bit different. This is this is an early morning kind of thing in Syracuse, or a commute. This is not like bar scene surges or anything like that. Trip radar 4.67. I would not take this person, though it looks like it might be a good ride. Let's see here, 6 minutes away. 1.9, 8 minutes, 2.2. Do I got it all in there? I do. See, this was not a good ride. Okay, good. But it kind of keeps me in the zone. See, look, it brings me back into the surge. So it's not that bad. But you want to get those rides when you get the surge. The surge is only going to last 10 minutes. Oh, they gave it to me again. So now it gives me to me as an exclusive. The exact same ride as an exclusive. I'm trying to get like the best ride I would take. That's what I'm hoping for, guys. I want you to see me say this is the best ride I would have taken exclusive. Exclusive, not the trip radar, but the exclusive. No, I wouldn't have taken this ride. Let's copy this and just paste it down. All right, come on. Big money, big prizes, no whammies. For all you old people, you remember that TV show? Come on. Come on, big money, big prizes, no whammies. Come on. Now, this is crazy. I'm sitting on a surge, which means Uber says it's busy, but they're not giving me any rides. It's playing. We've gone through a whole minute now. Oh, there we go. That is the trip. This is by far. This is 100% the trip to take. All right, let me explain this trip to you guys. I knew it was coming in. All right. First of all, it's an exclusive, which means I'm going to get this trip. If I want this trip, I got it. Bing, bing, bing. This is a home run right here. 4.91. Does anybody know why I think this trip is a home run? We've already talked about tipping. Why do you think that this trip is a home run? I feel like a professor talking like that. Classroom, tell me what you think. Why is this trip a home run? All right, take a look at it here. It's from 7 North Street, Liverpool to Hertz Rent-A-Car, Syracuse. You can see up here. So it's from here to here. It's literally only 12 minutes. What do you think this trip is at 7 in the morning? Now, you have to be a Syracuse Uber driver to know this trip. Also, this is a comfort. It's 4.9 rated passenger. It's going to the airport. It's comfort. It's going to the airport. But I also know that this is a hotel. What this person is going from a hotel to the airport. It's super short. There you go. It's my second best trip, and it's an exclusive. That's a winner. That is a winner. Let's see if Zeke got offered that trip. 7:50. So I got it at 7:57 a.m. Zeke should have also gotten this trip, right? Because we were sitting there together. We both got the same trips. Let's see here. 7:57. Let's take a look at Zeke's numbers here. Comfort. Oh, he got it as an exclusive too. He got it as an exclusive. How much did he get it for? $9 though. I got it for $9.45. He got it for $9. Interesting. I wonder who got it first. Who do you think got it first? That would be, okay, we got to measure that. This could be because if Zeke got this ride before I got it, I'm telling you right now, diamond doesn't matter. Just telling you right now, diamond doesn't matter. Let's take a look here. All right, let's pull it up. Here's Zeke's numbers. All right. We're at 746, 759, 752. All right, the surge is on, 754. Okay, so he got that same ride I did. He got the same ride there. Now we're both sitting there. 10. No, that wasn't it. 1161. Come on, let's see it. See, he's getting the same rides I'm getting. That's the cool thing about this experiment. We're sitting there together. We're both getting the same rides. But the question is, who got it first, me or him? There's only one way to test this too, by the way. Got another one. Let's do it this way. And let's get the ride up here. It's gonna be hard to tell who got it first doing it this way. I'll open up my video editing screen and then we'll look at it that way. See, he got it for 9. So there you go. I got it for 9:45. He got it for 9. We both got it as exclusive. All right, now the question is this. Let's watch the timer. When does his turn? Okay. Okay, that sucked. Try that again here. Let's try it again here. All right. Okay. So here's the important thing. I don't know if you can see this or not in the chat. It's kind of small. But that says 7:58. It's still going. Mine says 7:57. So we'll see when mine... See, I think I got it first. $7:57. And then it went to him. Yeah. So that's probably what happened. Oh my gosh. I'm going to go to the chat here and talk for a second. Everybody, did you see that? Let's pull it back open here. Okay. Diamond versus blue. The whole goal of being a diamond driver is to make more money, assuming it works, right? Make more money and get more trips and get better trips before the other people get the trips. In this experiment, Zeke is right here. Here's me. He got the trip at 7:58. I got the trip at 7:57 and I got paid more for which is probably both our banger trips. Let's go look at his trip. What did we say? 7:58. Let's take a look here. That ended up being Zeke's, after the whole thing said and done, that trip ended up being Zeke's most sixth most profitable trip. Right now it's my second most profitable trip. By the way, Zeke's at 95 trips offered. I'm at 96. I've only gotten one more trip. So, okay. Here's what we know so far looking at this data without doing any more data. This trip was my 96th trip. This trip was Zeke's 94th trip. So I'm in the span of 30 minutes, I've gotten one more trip than Zeke, which means Diamond doesn't get more trips than Blue. You with me so far? However, one of the best trips that we're going to get for the day came in. It came to me first as a Diamond driver. Then it went to Zeke, and it came in as an exclusive, which means I get priority of that trip. So when you're cherry picking, understand that it looks like the people who are gold, platinum, diamond are going to get priority over the blue drivers. How about that for a lesson learned? Let me go look at the chat. What do you guys think? How am I too excited about this? Oh, let's see here. I got a lot of people in the chat. Let's take a look here. Kathleen says she's in Phoenix and Waymo. My brother is an Uber driver, platinum. I'm blue. We get the same rides almost every day, but we're from a small town. That's kind of us, Battlefield. I'm working through mental inertia, getting Substack going about all this type of stuff, nuanced aspects of business. Don't mind sharing some, unlike other channels. Yeah, you can do whatever if you ever need help, I'll give you as much help as I can, CS. I wish I could filter out all the school pickups. Yeah, you have to just know with the school pickups, Kathleen, where the schools are. Thank you, Kathleen, for the advice. Trying to learn where schools are, where campers are. Isn't that Animatality is putting it in a geozone. Yeah, I don't know. We don't have geozones here. I don't know if you're talking about something in the app. Uber is sneaky, just giving me the address. I don't have the address of all the schools memorized. Yeah, I have to. I focus on a really small area, Kathleen. If I don't know that area, I'm hesitant to take trips, and I've been doing this for 6 years. I do. I was opted in for teen rides, but I no longer can take them. I don't know why. Maybe they did a background check. I don't know. Uh, what I do is block out an entire neighborhood legs. Yeah, exactly. I just in my mind, I have a mental block out for that. I'm happy to take low-rated riders if the pay is $50 an hour. Of course, yes, I don't mind that. It still seems low for a comfort ride. Yeah, it is. It's still low for a comfort ride as this one. I would say this is a great ride, but let's take a look. How much is it going to pay me? 945, right? After expenses, this trip pays me 37.65 an hour. It's not the greatest, but it's better than all the other rides I've gotten for the most part. So it depends on where you're at. If you're in Syracuse on a Thursday morning, it's not a bad trip. Now, if it was bar scene, big surges, it'd be a totally different thing. And again, this is before the tip. I'm telling you right now, that passenger tips without a doubt. I got a similar ride in my air for 27. Well, see that this is why I hate comparing areas. It's kind of like how guys are like mine's bigger than yours. You know what I mean? That's what it comes across as. I don't care what you got in yours. I mean, I know you're not trying to say you're better than me, but it comes across that way because it's like there's nothing I could do about it. I can't get. They don't pay $27 to go, 12 minutes in Syracuse on a Thursday morning to get to the airport. They just don't. There's nothing. There's nothing I can do about it. So if you're in a surgery, I get heating trips. I can clear the cash. Da, 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 whatever. Sorry if there's some recent ones that don't make sense. Sorry, driving. See here. Battlefield. Hey, in the near future, do you think you could do a live stream own how you track everything and make mileage as well as tax purposes? It'd be tough. Tax purposes are tough because when it comes to taxes, we measure we I have a bunch of other sources of income. So my taxes are not based upon just solely my gig work. But if you're in a surge zone and not getting rides, it's clear the cache. And if you're on an Android, also force stop the app. It'll clear the short-term memory and force reconnect. Interesting. I'll have to try that. He got the trip after you ignored it. Had you had taken it, you wouldn't be available to take the next banger trip. Let's see what comes in, Kathleen. That's a good point. Let's see what comes in. I don't think mine is there. Maybe two mics are working at the same time. Probably headset default. You mute one of them. Am I echoing again? I don't think so, right? I usually take min of $1 per mile, Stanley. That's not too bad. What was the comparison between the two of you? Average per miles. No tax on tips. That's right. That's why tips are such a banger way to make money. I had $12,000 in tips last year. It's $12,000 of untaxable income. It's amazing. Okay, comparison. Stanley, you asked real quickly, dollar per mile. I'm getting $1.57 per mile. Zeke is getting 146. I'm about 7% more in the dollar per mile. Margin per minute average is 11%. So I make 11% more on the trips that I take as a diamond driver. And the dollar per hour is 9.8. So let's see. Kathleen, you called it. Let's take a look at the next banger trip, right? Let's do this. All right, let's see what comes in. I did not take this trip. Let's see. What was Zeke's trip after that, right? That's what we got to go take a look here. Zeke's trip it was this one right here. This exclusive for 657 was the banger trip. 98, trip number 98 at 759. So it's coming. This is so fun. It's coming. Let's go see what it gets here. 920. Let's put these trips back in my spreadsheet, Kathleen. Nothing gives me any more joy. Maybe the birth of my children, my wedding day, watching Tiger Woods win the 2019 Masters, and putting together a good spreadsheet. Oh my God. It's close to heaven. All right, 4.98. Verified. I'm getting a lot I'm getting a lot better trips now. 11-minute pickup. I probably wouldn't take this one. 4.7. I'm not going to drive all the way to the south side for this trip. 2 minutes. 0.4. Ooh, another good trip. Kathleen, we're in the banger trip zone here. Let's see what I got to get an exclusive. Another exclusive. Oh, okay. Here we go. Oh, they give me the 4.8 again. This is it, right? No, it's a different one. All right. Okay, let's take a look here. Trip number 98. Levi. 5%. 7:58 a.m. Uber X exclusive. I like that. 11.21. And I think this is going to be critical because if this is when we make our money, right? During this time period is the surges. So if the surge is going on, it's going to last for 10 minutes. You got to make as much money as possible during that surge. You got to pick the best possible trip. 3.2. That was another one. See, now we're in the surges. Look, all my good trips are coming during the surge. They're not coming when it's slow. Oh, we're already halfway through this. All right. Come on. Big money, big prizes. Oh, now it's a comfort trip to the airport. Ooh. I like this one. 4.98, another good one. But it's still trip radar though. That's a bad thing, right? Comfort, I like this. Trip radar, I don't like that. 4.98, 12.29. This is going from the nicest hotel in Syracuse. So that South Franklin and Walton Street right here, that is the nicest hotel to the Syracuse airport. American Airlines. It's not Spirit Airlines. 4.98 rated passenger, verified. I wish this person was... It's 8 minutes away, so it's not the best. And again, this is a Thursday morning, and this is not Halloween night when there's a bunch of banger trips out there. $30 an hour. It's not that good. Okay. I would have tried to match on that one though. I see it. Big money, big prizes, no whammies. Here we go. Come on. Oh, what are we looking at here? What was I looking at? Okay. Oh, I think this is the one, right? Is this the highest paying one? I think this is it. All right, trip 100 of the day. So to get to this trip, this is going to be the highest paying trip, I'm pretty sure. I would have had to decline 99 trips in a row to get to this trip. So this is a testament to if you are a cherry picker, this is going to validate. The problem is it's trip radar. So I don't know if I would even get this trip. Let's take a look here. 690, 2.25, 4.96, not verified. 2 minutes, 0.3 miles. I like that. 5 minutes, 1.3 miles. Best paying trip. So it was trip radar. Let's just say 759. What did Zeke? He got it as an exclusive? He got it as an exclusive? Let's see if it comes to me as an exclusive. Oh, that's right. Okay. This is really interesting. Okay, so the surge goes away. Oh, no. This is really interesting. So the surge goes away, right? Now, as a diamond driver or whatever, gold platinum, I get more exclusives. Zeke gets a lot of trip radars. So what happens? They're going to give me an exclusive ride, which I don't take, and it clears my $2 surge. Watch this. Not a bad trip. All right, 101. Uber X, 5-star. Now it's 8 a.m. Uber X, trip radar, 9.18. $2. 5-star, verified. 7 minutes, 1.9. 11 minutes, 3.4. Now this one sucked. Oh, see, they gave me a crap ride. I didn't take it. See, oh, okay, now I'm gold. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go gold here. So now I'm gold. So I knew I was gold. See, I was at 80% acceptance rate when this experiment started. Now I'm at 52. And they gave me the same ride again. That sucks. Ah, this is the downside to being gold or platinum or whatever. I declined this trip as a trip radar. I didn't take it. It gave it back to me as an exclusive, right? But now it clears my surge. So I no longer have a surge. So I had, during that run, I had 13 surge offers. I'm not going to get any more surges, right? Zeke, on the other hand, he had, look at that. During the surge run, Zeke had 25 surges. How about that? That he had 10 more surge opportunities because he was getting a lot of trip radar. That hurts. That hurts. Oh no. Oh, that sucks. So you can see that when the surges come in for Zeke, he got a great ride right here. And he got all these trip radars. Look at all these trip radars. It wasn't until he got this next exclusive that his surge went away. Wow. Fascinating stuff. Fascinating stuff. What do you guys think? Let's see here. Let's go to the chat. Let's see what you guys are doing here. Stanley says, taking a break now. I'm also driving, hence this speech to text. Hey, in the near future, do you think you may be able to do a live stream on how to track everything? Yep, we talked about that. Hey, he got the trip radar trip after you ignored it. Had you taken it, you wouldn't be available for the next banger trip. I don't think there is. Mine is there. Maybe 2 mics are working. We already talked about that. Let's see here. I usually take minute per mile. That's right. We're talking about no tax on tips. Okay, now we're at. I just curious to know 1 week compared total miles versus total time spent diamond versus the. That'd be a tough experiment for a whole week. I will try to do that, but I got to get there. Gotta go. Y'all have a good day. Battlefield, take care. What best trip radar? 5-star 5. I don't know what that means, gambler. All your hard work has been exposed. Uber manipulating. Yeah, no doubt. How far are you from Albany? How far am I from Albany? Hour and a half, 2 hours. I'll be traveling to Albany, then cross Western Mass, all the way back. Try to meet up. Yeah, anytime you want. You got my email, Stanley. Just email me or text me. What spreadsheet program am I using? I'm using Apple Numbers. All right. Oh, Kathleen. Oh. Okay, the surges are where you make your money, right? If you go to look at Zeke's best rides in order, sorry, let's go look at Zeke's best rides. Of his top 10, 7 of them had surges. Now let's go look at my trips. Now, my surge is over for the day, right? Let's go rank my trips up here. 6 of my top 10 were surges, but I'm not going to get any more surges because the surge is over. It just happened to be like a 10-minute window on a commuting Monday morning when the surges take place. And I didn't take a trip. I was trying to cherry pick, right? So exclusive came in. Kathleen, you and I were like, oh, there could be a better trip coming in. I didn't take it. Surge goes away. Now I don't have a surge. So this is the trip they gave me, and it's a sucky one. That was my 101st trip, I think, right? 102nd. It was ranked 37 out of 102. And now we're not going to get any more surges. I might get like a dollar surge because there's a dollar surge on the map somewhere. But now I'm not sitting in a surge. So look at the next trip. Oh, the pain of it all. The pain. Oh. 8:01 a.m. Uber X. Trip radar. 4.99. No surge. It would have been good if it had a surge, right? If it had a $2 surge, imagine what this trip would have been. I'll put a $2 surge on it just to see what it looks like. 3 minutes. That's such a short trip. That's basically from one hotel to a bar. That's like a restaurant bar, not a bar. Um, 5 minutes, 1.6. It's still a good paying ride, but imagine if it had a surge. Just put it at $6.99, Kathleen. If it had that $2 surge. Yeah, look at that. If it had paid me $53 an hour with the surge. But without the surge, because I didn't get it, $4, it pays me $36 an hour. $20. That $2 surge is the difference between $36 an hour and $53 an hour. $2 surge. Just like that. That's why surges are so critical to your profitability. Now let's take a look at the data. All right. Trips. So far we're about halfway through. My ratings are a little bit higher. I'm getting more exclusives. Margin per minute, I'm making 15% more. See, we talk about the 5%, but that's before expenses. But now we have the same car, so our expenses are the same. So after expenses, I'm making 15% more as a diamond, gold driver, or whatever. With the 5%, I'm going to just put 5%, no 5%, blue up there. My trips are a little bit shorter in pickup. I'm getting 10% more dollar per mile, and I'm getting 11% more dollar per hour. How awesome is that? Okay, when you put 5% into pro status column, you said 5 stars on Levi's sheet. Did you mean 5%? Pro status 5% right here, because the rating's here. I'm not sure what you mean, gambler. Sorry, let's go look at the questions. Length of rides. All right, I'll do that. We can look at that. Ride length. I'm going to look at ride length. Miles. All right, so go equals average ride length of miles. So total miles average. 6.6 for him. And my ride length average miles. Average 6.5. Let's go ride length minutes. So let's go equals average of, because I think minutes matter more. 18 minutes total. Custom units. Let's just go minutes, seconds. So there you go. His average trip was 18 minutes and 31 seconds. My average trip was, remember, I'm still halfway through my data, so we're going to do it. Mine's a little bit shorter than his. Stanley. Okay, let's go back to live chat here. Oh, there you go. I forgot to put this thing there. So any type of like lots of surge offers, but once you take one, the others don't matter. Exactly. It's like kind of first come, first serve. So you're kind of gambling, rolling the dice, trying to get the perfect one. And if you are like a phoenix and you fly too close to the sun, or was it not phoenix? It's like a, what's the guy that flew too close to the sun? But that was me in this experiment. All right, so I'm going to put some more data in my spreadsheet. I'll get back to the chat here in a second. Let's keep going. Let's see what kind of trips we got. Now that the surge is gone, and the surge is gone for the rest of the day for me, let's see what kind of trips I get. They're going to be kind of boring the rest of the day. I got to do 100 more trips, give or take. 801, UberX, Trip Radar, 9.03. Let's see here. No surge. Rating is 4.95. Not verified. 8 minutes. 3. 12 minutes. 4.7. Ooh, I got one more thing to tell you guys. Let me put some more data in here. Remind me, maybe not remind me, but it's going to be why you should measure minutes, not miles. I've got some really definitive proof why you should measure minutes, not miles. When I say measure, it's in terms of making the decision to take the trip. I'm going to put some more data here in my spreadsheet first, and then I will show you the definitive proof why measuring miles is not the most important thing. Measure minutes to determine which trips you're going to take. Of course, you're going to measure miles for tax purposes. You don't want to take a lot of long mile trips, or et cetera, et cetera. But when you look at a trip, the most important thing is minutes. Let's get these trips in here. UberX, another trip radar, 10.94. Oh, the trips got so crappy, didn't they? Oh, yeah. It is a one. Oh, there is a surge on this one, though. Let's see. But it's not going to be the same, is it? It's not going to be the same. 16. All right, let's go look at Zeke's data here real quick. Okay, here's Zeke's data. Now, I'm going to organize them first. This is sorted from trips 1 through 206. So again, this is the sequence in which all the trips came in. Now, what I did was I measured the margin per hour. So after each trip, after you account for miles, so miles are an expense, and you measure how much you make per minute per hour after expenses, these are how I rank them. So let's rank them from sort from 1 to, so you can see 1 through 206. So Zeke's most profitable trip per hour paid him $52.20. Two $50 an hour trips, right? Here's all of his most profitable trips. He had 11 out of his 206 trips were above $30 an hour after expenses. And then he had, all the way at the very bottom, he actually had 21 trips pay him right around $15 an hour or less. Those were his least profitable trips. Are you with me so far? Okay. Now let's take a look. If this is sorted from best trips to worst trips, let's take a look at your revenue per mile. Okay, your revenue per mile. Let's take a look at the top 20. Let's measure the top 20. Look how many profitable trips had less than $1 per mile. There's this one. There was this one. But most trips, don't get me wrong, the revenue per mile was great. But there are some other ones right here. Let's take a look at the revenue per hour. They were all clearly really good. Let's take the top 20. None of these were low revenue per hour. They were all high, well above 30 or whatever. Okay, so my point is this. We work for 5 minutes or we work for 12 hours in a day, right? Doesn't really matter. During that time period, whether it's 1 minute or 12 hours in a day or in a lifetime, how many time is the currency that we all have? It's fleeting. So we want to make as much money as possible in that window when we work. If that makes any sense. Okay. If you're looking at revenue per mile, there are some trips that pay pretty well, but pay less per mile. Let me show you this. Here's some trips that are pay pretty well revenue per mile, but they did not pay really well at all. Like this trip right here. There's an UberX trip. His rank, this trip right here, it paid $1.94 per mile, but paid him only $20 an hour after expenses. And we knew that because it was already paying less than 30. So here's, if I were to go over here and say, now I'm going to sort by revenue per hour, all the trips that pay pretty well per hour are also going to pay well margin per hour. Look at that. Sorted by revenue per hour. Look at all that green up high. Now I haven't done the math to this yet, so I'm just showing you visually how it works. Here's the revenue per mile ranked. There's the green. But look at these, 130, 160, 133, 120. So every now and then you'll get a trip that pays really well, dollar per mile, but it's going to pay you the least, a very low profitability according to your time. But you'll never ever get a high profitable, high revenue per hour that pays you a low amount per mile. So always just look at the time, and if the time meets your criteria, the miles are going to pan out in your favor. Does that make sense? Let's see here. Yes, please. Miles versus minutes. Yes, exactly. They constantly underestimate actual time. However, there's always a disparity between their trip time and Google Maps. Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes it's not though. Sometimes they get. Sometimes Uber totally overestimates the time. So on average, though, for the most part, Uber gets it right, and maybe that's an experiment for another day. Uber gave me a trip. How long did it actually take me to do it? Terry says, long time Icarus. Yeah, it's Icarus flew too close to the sun. Thank you. I have my brain freeze there. Terry says, long time listener, first time caller. Shout out. I love talk radio. Please analyze why I have my best days on days when my time is limited and I can only drive for 2 hours. Yesterday morning, I gave 5 rides, 4 of them tipped. I bet you. I'm gonna make a guess. You. Oh, thanks so much, Luigi. Luigi, thank you so much. I will answer your question, Luigi, in a second. Um, Terry says, "Why do I make my big 4 out of my 5 rides tipped yesterday morning?" A, it could be fluky because you don't know the data to it. It's like you're just remembering the data or you're remembering that experience. But also, I think on longer days, like this live stream, I'm losing my focus, right? We kind of lose our way a little bit. So when you're hyper focused, you've got a 2 hour window to make as much money as possible. You're probably focused on providing the best service, picking the best trips, doing as much money as you possibly can in that 2 hour window. But if you're going to go out for a 12-hour day, it's gonna ebb and flow, and you're gonna lose focus. That's what I'm gonna guess, Terry. Thank you, Levi. This helps me understand our work, our earnings. It helps us get there. Thank you so much, Kathleen. All right. Luigi says, is Uber offering ride quest in your area? Yes and no. It fluctuates, it comes and goes. Right now, I'm getting a quest $3 for every ride in the city of Binghamton, which is super far away. I'm gonna pull up Binghamton here on this map here. Let's look at Google Maps. All right, so I've got a couple of. I'm gonna see if I can open up maps this way. Okay. All right. I assume you guys can see Binghamton. Here we go. Or here's Casanova, where I live. Here is the city of Syracuse. So I have to drive 30 minutes into Syracuse. There are really rarely any rides around here. Almost all of my rides are in here. But there are times, and you've heard me talk about it before, I'll go all the way down to Ithaca. That's where Cornell University is, and Uber drive down there. I can also go in Cortland a little bit. But right now I'm getting a great promo, $3 for every single ride. In fact, I'm gonna take a screenshot of it and put it on the thing here. How do I do that? Let's go. Opportunities, promos. It looks like this. Let's take a screenshot and put this on my computer for you guys here. Oh, interesting. Okay, I didn't want to do that, but let's do it this way here. No, I'm gonna do this. Let's do it this way. Open it up. There we go. Okay. Sorry, guys. See, are my videos when I highly edit them much better? So, all right. So there you go. At Binghamton University, there's like a circle. For every trip that I pick up, I get $3, and that's between like 8 p.m. and 3 a.m. And there's 30 of these, so it's $90 extra to pick up those trips in that area. So there you go. Oh, you can see the live stream. There you go. There's the live stream. All right. So hopefully it answers your question, Luigi. Definitely experiment for another day. All right. Let me put some more trips in, and then we'll keep going. Keep asking me questions. I'm gonna. Ooh, my battery's dying on my computer. I better plug my. I didn't have my computer plugged in. Let's do that. All right, computer plugged in. Let's keep going. Ride 107. Let's see what kind of trips come in, Kathleen. Everybody. Big money, big prizes, no whammies. Big money, big prizes, no whammies. Ooh, not the greatest trip. All right, Levi. And what we want to do is we want to see it green, right? Because these are the rankings of the trips. So let's go 5%, 8:02 a.m. Uber X exclusive. 617, no surge, 5-star passenger, not verified. 8 minutes, 2.6, 6 minutes, 1.9. Boom. 94. That's like one of the worst trips I've gotten. That's horrible. All right. And again, if I had Gig U on, Gig U would actually point this out to me. I would not take this trip at all. It's a reserve ride to who knows where, but it's not to the airport. So I don't want to be sitting there for who knows how long. So reserve trips like this in the middle of the day, unless they're planned, I just don't take them. Uber X reserve. All right, trip radar. Thank God it's just trip radar. 10.76. No surge. 5-star. All right, let's see here. It's 9-minute pickup. 2.3 miles. 12 minutes. 4.3 miles. 43. Let's see if we can get one more banger, one more good trip in here. Not bad. There's a surge. That's 12-minute pickup. Look at that. That's just not good. I would not be taking a lot of these trips. 802 Uber X trip radar 9.77 $1 surge 4.96 verified. I knew I was gonna do that. All right, let's go. 12-minute pickup, 5 miles, 7 minutes, 1.7. All right, 46. All right, so let's pull this up here. I'm gonna pull up ChatGPT. You guys are gonna like this. Maybe you will. I don't know. You guys, I use ChatGPT all the time. Let's put ChatGPT on the. All right. All right, live streaming on YouTube. Uber trip analysis. All right. So I use ChatGPT to analyze some of Zeke's trips here. Let's put them in here. Watch this. Let's create a new chat. Watch this. Here's a new chat. If you're following along with me, I'm using ChatGPT. I'm going to pull. Now I exported all of Zeke's trips. Here's all of Zeke's trips. I exported them all into a spreadsheet, and let's let ChatGPT take a look at it here. Watch what ChatGPT advises. Are you ready? Hey, my friend is an Uber driver. Seeing all these trips, what advice do you give him? Also, he's a Blue Pro status, the lowest. If he took 25% of all the rides, all the exclusive rides, he'd be a he'd earn an additional 20 or 5% on 5% on every trip. What do you recommend he take? 25% of the exclusive trips to get the 5% bonus per trip. Let's see what ChatGPT says here. Spreadsheets scare me. There you go. Okay, let's see here. Definitely experiment for another day. Near the Augusta, Georgia, they're offering 20 bucks a ride during the Masters. I just don't live there. Oh my God. I'm gonna go downstairs and watch the Masters in just a little bit. I can't wait. Does GigU give you recommendations quickly? I tried Para. Yes, GigU is amazingly fast. It works amazingly well. I would not let them be a sponsor if they were not good. I see that my face is blocking. Let me go here. All right, ChatGPT is still thinking. I'm going to put this down here. How about the? Ooh, I just did that. Nice. Okay, cool. I don't know if you guys see that or not. I'm learning how to use a program called OBS to do these live stream. Um, Dan Halliday. I don't know who's Dan Halliday. That sounds familiar to me. Luigi, thank you so much for the $1 or the $2 tip bonus. I appreciate you. You guys have no idea. These videos I do not make the amount of money that you think it takes to put these type of detailed analysis together. Okay, let's take a look here. So do I recommend you take the 25%? ChatGPT says yes, probably, but only as a strategy, not blindly. From the 206 offers in the file, 40 were exclusive, so 25% means taking 10 exclusive trips. What I see, the exclusive trips were slightly worse on gross than Trip Radar. All right. The exclusive trips also had the same amount of hourly gross. Exclusive trips were slightly worse on margin. So for Zeke's trips so far, the trip radars paid better. So the key takeaway is this: exclusive rides were not bad enough overall to avoid just on principle. They were just a little weaker, but not dramatically weaker. And the 5% bonus matters. Using the set, the average trip fare is $8.58, so a 5% bonus is worth about 43% extra per trip. This means that if taking those 10 exclusive trips cost him the average of the difference, he makes that back in about 17 trips. Even if those are 10 pretty weak, he likely makes it back in about 45 trips. For a driver doing a normal week, that's usually worth it. My advice to him, yes, I'd recommend going for the 25% exclusive threshold, but only by selectively taking decent exclusive rides. Don't tank the whole strategy just to force it. Best approach, treat 25% exclusive ride as the floor hit. All right, cherry pick the best 10 out of 40. All right, there you go. What if I told you that the that higher pro status gives um, get selected for trip radars above the blue drivers? Let's see what it says here. Then that makes 25% exclusive strategy more attractive, not less. Why? If the higher status drivers get their first crack at better trip radar rides, then blue drivers' visible trip radar pool is probably already picked over a bit. So comparing blue driver trip radar offers versus blue driver exclusive offers, this might be misleading. The real comparison is not are exclusive rides worse than trip radar. It might actually be that are exclusive rides worth taking in order to move to a higher tier where trip radar improves. That changes the math. At Blue, he may be seeing weaker trip radar leftovers. By improving his pro status, he may gain access to higher trip radars. So the 5% bonus is not only part of the upside, the bigger upside could be better quality overall. Interesting. I'm not going to go through all that. Pretty good, huh? You like that? What other question should I ask ChatGPT? And right now, ChatGPT is only looking at Zeke's trips. Let's see here. This was um, let's say one a 1 hour time period. What trips should Zeke have taken to maximize his earnings, his profit, his total profit? Remember, if he takes a trip at 740, let's see here, takes a trip at 7:40 a.m. That's 10 minutes long. He can't take another trip till 7:50 a.m. Let's see what it does here. See what kind of analysis ChatGPT is going to do for Zeke. So basically what I'm saying is like, okay, we're looking at all the trips as if they equally all came in at the same time, but they didn't, right? They come in sequence. So what trips should Zeke have taken, and what basically uses maximum profitability, not profitability per hour, but in the total amount of time that's available. Ask ChatGPT if IWE should look at, what's IWE? Okay, I will ask it. Yeah, per mile or per minute. What's the best metric to pick trips on? Okay, I'll ask that. Right now it's doing a lot of analysis. It's going pretty hardcore here. Dude, how many people we have on the chat? Do you anybody know? 41. Wow, that's pretty good. Man, if I could tell my parents that all my work as an accountant has manifested into doing spreadsheets, and that people watch me do spreadsheets online for Uber driving, they would never believe it. Oh my gosh. All right. Okay. So the first trip you should have taken was 724, trip 3. Then you take trip 47, trip whatever. Interesting. So say I'm going to take all the short ones to maximize this time. Oh, and then trip 182. But the reason why is that's a trip that was 77 minutes long. So he made $66 in profit. What was his profit per hour taking all those trips? Let's see what it is. And then I'll ask your question, dollar per mile or dollar per minute. I'll ask it this way. I'm going to ask it, what is the best what is the come on. Oh, I got it in thinking mode. That's why. Just give me the quick answer here. ChatGPT. Let's go auto. Thank you. He would have made $29 an hour, give or take. Interesting. On a lapse time, $27.35 per hour after expenses, taking those trips. So even those trips with $50 an hour, right? See, I disagree with you, Orlando. I don't think Uber should pay us all a flat rate, because different drivers are different. Every city's different. And I think a rate card reduces us down to just being drivers, not necessarily having the ability to pick trips that are more profitable to us. All right, let's do this here. What are the metrics that you would use to accept trips? Give them to me in priority order. We don't see, let's see here. We don't see, I'm just going to go over here. Take a screenshot of that. We don't see the profit numbers, and we don't have time to calculate that either. Let's see what it says. 7 seconds, no calculate, no profit shown. You need to glance. So ChatGPT recommends per minute, dollar per minute primary filter. Is this going to pay me 50 or 60 cents per minute? Mental, anything over $10 for 20 minutes, $8 for 15 minutes, $6 for 15. No. So that's your primary filter. Trip length, time control. You want trips that are 8 to 15 minutes in the sweet spot. Avoid trips less than 5 minutes. and avoid trips that are 25 minutes long. Pickup distance, hidden killer. If you don't see the full miles clearly, but you see pickup time and distance, if the pickup is 5 to 6 minutes, the trip is really good. If it's a 2 minute pickup, great. 7 minutes needs high pay. Plus 10 minutes usually decline. Total commitment time. Ask, am I stuck for too long? If dollar per minute looks okay, 40-minute trip equals risk. Let's see here. Direction and positioning, not all minutes are equal. That's exactly my thought. Do you keep in a busy zone? Surge and bonus. Oh, overlay this last. If you're on a streak, be more flexible, whatever that is. We don't know that. If surge is active, raise your standards. If chasing 25% exclusive, selectively include. Simple 3-second rule. If it's 50 cents a mile, less than 15 to 20 minutes, a short pickup, everything else is situational. There you go. Does passenger rating matter? Let's see what it says. Screen for risk, not for profit. 4.85 to 5, green star. Yep. 4.6 less. Adjust your standards. Oh, if I were to text Zeke, it gives me a thing to text Zeke. Rating doesn't matter unless it's bad. There you go. All right. If you could text Zeke 2 things, short and sweet, what would you say? Let's see what it says. See, I think Kathleen, you're right. The tip data is missing from this, but we can extrapolate from previous experiences that high-rated passengers going to the airport do tip. So we could probably put that into this. Only take trips that are 50 cents a minute more and less than a 5-minute pickup. Protect your time first. So again, people always ask me miles or time, and look, ChatGPT is diving straight into minutes because minutes matter more. Miles are important, but they're a cost, not necessarily a revenue generator. Use exclusive strategies to hit 25%, but never take a bad trip just to get there. There you go. How awesome is that? I love analyzing stuff here. Let's take a look at that. Let's put just a couple more trips in and then get close here. Let's see what we got here. Big money, big prizes, no whammies. Big money, big prizes. Okay. All right. Trip number 110. I'm still at the 5% perk. 802. For those that don't know, basically what I'm doing is I'm putting all the data from a Thursday morning when me and my friend Zeke, we sat in a diner and we did a screen recording of all of our trips. And I'm going to analyze whether it's better to be a blue or a diamond driver. Zeke is blue and I'm diamond. Well, I was. I'm not diamond anymore. And we wanted to measure who gets better trip offers. So I'm about halfway through my day, so 39 minutes into an hour and 17 minute. We're probably not gonna do that all here. I've already put all of Zeke's data in. Let's take a look at, for comparison, our trips. Zeke had 206 trips so far. I'm at 110, but again, I'm gonna get past 200. I have a little bit better passenger rating. I have 42% of my rides are exclusive, or only 19%. Hey, Patrick, thanks for joining Thrive, man. I really appreciate it. Okay, let's take a look here. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Patrick. Okay. The margin per minute, I'm making 14% more than Zeke margin per minute. My trips are a little bit shorter in pickup time. I'm making a little bit more dollar per mile, about 9% more, and 11% more in dollar per hour average. So that's kind of where we're at with all this kind of stuff. Tamir says, thank you for all your tips and inspiration, Levi. I try my best, but it's hard to make it past $25 an hour. Sometimes I can hit 30, 35 when I'm super patient and selective. Yeah, I know. Each one of us lives in a different area. And so that's why I try not to sit there and say the way that I drive is the right way to drive. In fact, I'm going to do this right here. I don't know if we can do this. Let's go. Let's turn the webcam on. Webcam on. Mac OS screen off. Mic on. Okay, I'm just going to zoom in so I can talk to you guys here for a second. The point of this exercise, of this spreadsheet, is twofold, doing this analysis. Number one, it's kind of fun to see what's better or worse, but I'm hoping to show you how you can analyze your market also. You can do your own analysis. You don't have to necessarily rely upon it. All me and Zeke did was sit there for an hour looking at our two phones side by side, and we were just declining rides. And we could see with our own eyes without having to do this detailed analysis. The detailed analysis only validates what we saw. But we kind of knew already what we're going to see is that I got more trips, a little bit more trips. I got higher rated passengers. I got higher rated fares or more exclusive offers as a Diamond driver. That doesn't mean it's worth it, but it validates that that's what Uber said was going to happen, and that's what happened. So the whole point of this exercise is to do that. I don't know if that makes any sense. I really don't want you guys to think that I'm telling you how to drive, because I don't know how to drive for you. I don't drive in Phoenix with you, Kathleen. I don't drive any other place. Patrick, what's going on? Um, I really dislike the arrogance, the coming from a place of ignorance that some content creators have. They're like, this is how you got to do it. You got to be a Diamond driver. You got to be, or you got to be a cherry picker. Who knows? And Kathleen, she lives out in Phoenix, right? And Kathleen, you seem really happy with what you're doing out there in Phoenix. I know other drivers that are out there in Phoenix that do nothing but complain. And I think that's the most important takeaway from all the content I create is not necessarily how to be a driver, but how to have a positive mentality at what you do. Because you can only control your emotions. Let me go get something here real quick. Let's see here. I'm still here. All right. So this is really important. Now, first, I wouldn't be a good man if I didn't tell you that this is one of the guiding things in my life, the Bible. But there's another book right here called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Now, Viktor Frankl went into a concentration camp, and he lost everything. They stripped him down to his being naked. And we know that in the Nazis did to Jews, they took their gold teeth out. It was horrible, and they didn't feed them. It was put them in like work camps, and they killed them, gassed them. It was a horrible experience. This man was in a concentration camp. Obviously, he got out and he wrote a book. But it's like the only thing you can control is your mind. I'm not saying Uber is a good company and that I'm not trying to defend Uber. I'm just saying control your own emotions. And I like, Kathleen, I like your positivity. I really, truly do. So all that being said is as I'm doing these experiments, as I'm trying to analyze, let's see if I can go to my Mac OS screen here. Shrink this back down again. Go back over here. Cut that back over here. All I'm saying is as I'm doing this experiment, as I'm trying to measure the difference between Diamond and Blue, it's kind of interesting data. It's really kind of, and it might hopefully help you a little bit understand the differences between the two. But more importantly, what I really want you to do is I want you to understand how to do it yourself and take action upon that. I hope that helps. I know it sounds kind of preachy, but I really dislike the content creators that pretend they know all and that they know exactly what you should do. This is exactly how you should drive. I don't drive in Charlotte or Atlanta or Mobile, Alabama or Phoenix or Los Angeles. My car is a Tesla. I don't have a Prius or a Cadillac Escalade. I get to eat a lot of good meals because my wife cooks for me. But I have my friend Zeke always orders out. We all have different life experiences. And so I'm just hoping to encourage you with me producing this kind of stuff to help you. That's really what it comes down to. Let's see here. Wopex is baloney. I drive in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and listening to your channel has helped me navigate my first 15 months with Uber. Nice. Shout out. Lou, I appreciate it. I'm in Newark. Fantastic. I definitely drive around Morristown area sometimes. Definitely better tips. Okay, that's interesting. I can't get to the platinum or diamond. It's about 30% of the rides that go out of state. Oh, I understand that. Samir says, I hear you, RXL. I'm not taking anyone to New York City. No doubt. Yeah, nobody. New York City's the worst. Um, I see, especially because you can't take any rides once you get to New York City. It's the worst. Um, I drive in Philly and it's a 2 hour ride to New York City and they only offer $70. That's the worst. Hell nah. I totally agree. $80 to go to New York City. That's the worst. Yeah. Patrick says I should change my channel's name to Data Driven Driver. Yeah. I appreciate that. Data driven for sure, but it's definitely, I think it's a lot more toward the psychology and the emotions of being a driver more than anything else. Um, okay, guys, it's been a good 2 hour stream. I need to go to the restroom. I need to prep for the Masters. We got to see if Rory can walk away with this thing or if he's going to dunk a bunch of shots in the water. I'm really hoping he does that. Tamir says, Levi, you are the man. I try to stick to the rides that will keep me to $30 an hour, 15 minutes minimum. I'll take is an $8 ride. All right, there you go. I love it. A strategy. Drivers. I can't tell you how to drive. I don't know because you are you and me, and we're all different. I hope to show you how I do it so that way you can learn from it, but do your thing and know that you're probably right. You're probably going to be happy with it. I want you to be safe. I want you to be healthy. I want you to be happy. I definitely want you to enjoy the ride. I want you to make as much money as possible as a driver. I really, truly do. Um, but don't do it at the expense of your mental health. Everybody, I want you to know that I'm cheering for you. This spreadsheet, I'm going to continue to work on it as I watch the Masters. Hopefully the video is coming soon. I'll give you the full details. Thank you so much, everybody that donated and joined the membership. As you can see, it's a lot of work to put all these type of things together. I really, truly appreciate it. Be well. I'm cheering for you. Bye. See how I turn. Now it's a live stream. I got to figure out how to turn it all off.